'Cause I got your picture, I'm coming with you. I do not know how to dress like a adult. Oh my god, I'm so depressed. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I would like to happily report that for the second year in a row, I'm in a relationship. Woo, yeah. I'm only saying that because when this video ages poorly, I can have an excuse to delete it. Given that everybody's favorite holiday is upon us, I would like to take some time to really go back to my roots and start to clown on people, like the good old days. If you guys have been around for a while, maybe you've seen my Nerdballer TV video, a video clowning on this guy who basically went around harassing women, selling fake 100 bills for panties, and selling marijuana to kids on Patreon. As much as I do stand by that video, and much as I actually enjoyed that video, I don't think it really aged the best, and I would rather go back to it a different time. See, I still stand by the idea that people can get very misogynistic on the site, and they do deserve to be called out. A lot of people, especially this time of year, have a hard time connecting with others, especially those they are romantically attracted to. It doesn't matter if you're man, woman, or non-binary. A lot of people like to love or be loved. It's a specific mindset that has led a lot of people to be taken advantage of by these love coaches. What is a love coach, you may ask? Well, let me tell you. A love coach, in a very vague definition, is somebody who gives advice to those who don't have the best luck in the dating scene. Okay, quick thing while I was editing. So I know that I said I could refer to them as, like, you know, love gurus and love coaches. The word was pickup artist. That's what I was thinking of the entire video, even though when I was writing the script. Could not think of the word for the life of me. It's in the title, but like, yeah. Pickup artists. Now, there are genuine love coaches out there that offer marriage counseling, couple counseling, or even, you know, self-help and self-improvement. Those are fine. I have no problem with those. I do want to cover a very specific type of love coach or love guru. These people are a group that usually give really terrible and toxic advice to predominantly lonely single men. Of course, there may be people out there giving that same toxic information to both women and those who are not binary. It's because these particular men are so impressionable that this information becomes dangerous. And when I say impressionable, it could mean either young or those who have had such bad luck with women that their views on women and themselves have become skewed. The very first channel I want to talk about, which is the least egregious, is a channel named Alpha M. Before we get into this, can we stop using the phrases alpha and beta? They don't mean anything. It's not real. I'm sorry. There was a really good Adam Ruins Everything about it, but to sum it up the best I can, there was a scientist who was researching a pack of wolves and came to the conclusion that there was one alpha male wolf that was leading the pack. And he would later go back to debunk that same theory when he found out that both male and female wolves were codependent and it was just a family relationship. So it was a mother and father taking care of their cubs rather than an alpha male taking care of a pack. And you can argue that maybe different animals have this inherent alpha trait, but that's not true. When looking at our closest relatives, bonobos, they have this a female-led society. There is nothing in nature to prove that alphas and betas exist. It's just a flawed, misogynistic mindset, and you really should not follow the advice of anyone who believes it's true. The idea that women all want an alpha male isn't exactly true or honest. There are 7 gajillion people in the world, and there's a very good chance that there are a few people, more than a few people, that their ideal person is you. You sitting right there. There is no ideal attractive person to all women. It's not true. Now, of course, physical attraction is important, and it's important to present yourself in a way that is healthy. You should always keep yourself groomed. You should always like the way you look. You should constantly be self-conscious of how you present yourself, but it isn't the end-all be-all. Confidence comes from self-reflection and thought. Someone who is confident in one situation is not going to be necessarily confident in another. Alright, rant over. Let's talk about Alpha M. He put out a video titled 7 Psychological Tricks to Get a Girl to Chase You.
Psst, gentlemen, come here. About today's video, I'm about to share with you some incredibly powerful psychological tricks to make a woman chase you.
Which is like, Ew. Ew. Whenever anybody needs to use psychological tricks to get laid,
That's a yikes for me.
tricking women psychologically is not the way to go about it. These tricks may work on some women, but I guarantee that this is going to be a relationship built on manipulation and probably isn't going to go anywhere in the long term.
First psychological trick to have a girl chase you is put her ass in the friend zone. As a dude, there's nothing worse than being put in the friend zone. Even if you're not like super into the girl, you still want her to be attracted to you. And the friend zone basically means that this person does not find you sexually appealing.
I wanted to watch these specific clips because I wanted to talk about the friend zone. I don't personally believe that the friend zone exists, and if it does, it's not a bad thing. It's perfectly fine to have a platonic friendship. Platonic friendships are perfectly natural, and if anything, they're worthwhile. It's a different perspective that you would not have had otherwise. I'm in the personal belief that if you don't have any platonic female friends, you most likely will not know how to talk to women or treat them. Friendships are perfectly healthy and natural, and if she isn't interested in you romantically or sexually gross, then that's fine. That's perfectly fine. And who knows? There could be a chance that you find out that you're not compatible with her, or even that she finds out that you are.
But if you can resist the urge to tell her how pretty she is, how amazing she is, and flirt and be all like awkward and weird, but instead you're just kind of normal and you treat her like one of the dudes, this is going to drive her crazy.
Or you can just move on. I guarantee that it's not that deep. She's going to see that you're not interested and she will get over it. She'll move on. And I think you should too. Now, to be fair, this is not the worst channel out there. He puts out plenty of videos that are about self-care and hygiene, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Those are really good things to teach. But I think this video, along with many others, have this trend that is just not okay. You should never use psychological tricks to get laid. That's just not okay. It's not cool. Stop it. If you think things like this are okay, then you should genuinely feel bad about yourself. I'm sorry. It's downright predatory behavior. So this guy makes video essays about women that at times feel just downright offensive.
And it all comes down to the guy who can make her feel something for him or feel attracted to him. 99% of problems between men and women, whether it's attraction related or even just trivial things like when she thought you were paying more attention to her friend than you were her, can almost always be attributed to the differences between the logic or the way that men and women think when they are trying to solve problems with each other. Whenever girls have problems, they try to solve these problems with emotions and by talking about them, whereas men are more likely to solve their problems primarily using logic.
This just isn't honest, to an extent at least. People like to say things like that men are more logical and women are more, emotionally driven, which is true, but you have to read the bigger context to that. Okay, back once again, because I should really not skip over the things in the script that I write. He mentions this in the video. He brings up that both men and women are, capable of thinking logically or thinking, emotionally. But I think the way he frames it makes it seem like if a woman were to think logically, then that means she's thinking like a man. That's not like a healthy mindset, and I kind of explain. Yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. He did say that. I still think his point is dumb. Previous studies have found behavioral differences between men and women. For example, women may have better verbal memory or in social cognition, whereas men may have better motor or spatial skills on average. But few studies have shown that men and women's brains are connected differently. This is just a study to show that our brains are wired a little bit differently. We have different cognitive skills. This is not to say that women cannot be logical or that men cannot be emotional. That's just not true. Because from there, it varies from person to person. It'd be weird to assume that a lot of men are not emotionally driven as well. I feel like what we see as being emotionally driven is being confused with being self-aware and in touch with your emotions, which a lot of men tend to be not. It's okay to feel emotion and make decisions off of emotion. The same way it's okay to make logical decisions. It takes a balance of the two. It's not men think logic, women are empathetic. Everyone thinks both, but one tends to think a little more. It's not, that big of a difference, to be honest.
Now next up is the third craziest thing that I've ever learned about girls, and it is that girls actually communicate using a secret language. Some people would call this subcommunication, while others might call it passive communication. But either way you slice it, it is fundamentally different than the way that guys communicate with each other. So if you were to walk up to a girl that you like and you were to tell her point blank that she should come and do something fun with you sometime, and then she turns to you and says, no thanks, I have a boyfriend. Most of the time, she most likely doesn't actually have a boyfriend. And this is simply an easy way to tell you without directly telling you that she is not interested. But this form of communication or this secret language goes far deeper than simply words.
It's not that deep. When a girl says she has a boyfriend, it either means A, she has a boyfriend, or B, you've been so off-putting that she doesn't want to talk to you. To analyze it like that is just weird.
And this sort of secret language serves several purposes, but most importantly, it shields the girl from being labeled by others in a negative way. Since pretty much the beginning of mankind, society has not looked favorably upon females who overtly show that they are attracted to a man, because it comes off as being overly sleazy and, to be frank, desperate.
What the do you want? Alright, guys. You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry. It's just, you can't. You can't be upset that some girls don't want to frick you, and then also call them sleazy when they do. Choose a struggle. It's a really stupid double standard, because if you're out searching for these videos, I think you're the one who's desperate. It's this dangerous misogynistic mindset that just is getting spewed out there, and the perception of women to men is going to be skewed in a dangerous way. It's very incel-esque mentality, but whatever. I got one last channel to look at. So Fresh Fit is a channel that gave out really bad dating information or women information, and they got banned off of TikTok. I would recommend Kurtis Connor's video on that. It's a banger. I genuinely believe they have some of the worst takes that are on the site.
You get a text. Sorry, honey, I can't make it home tonight. I'm at work late. But her job closes at 12, and it's 2 in the morning. You're like, wait, what's going on here? So you're in bed. You know what? I'll forget about it. She's probably busy at work. I won't bother her. Next day, oh babe, I just got home in the morning. Hickey, panties off. Shirt got rips in it. Like, what's up? Oh babe, I got in a fight with a dog. I'm so sorry. Guys, she cheated on you, right? And I'm sorry to say this, most girls cheat. They're very promiscuous nowadays.
I don't know how to tell you this, guys, but if a girl came home with the hickey on her neck, butt-ass naked with a dude still inside her, I think she cheated. Oh my god. Like, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's take it down for a second. All men don't cheat. The same way all women don't cheat. It's person to person, situational, you know? It's not fair to hold prejudices based on your past experiences. If you're going into a relationship with that mentality, then you're not ready to be in a relationship. And even if you wanted to look at the statistics about cheating, well, among ever married adults ages 18 to 29, women are slightly more likely than men to be guilty of infidelity, 11% versus 10%. But this gap quickly reverses among those ages 30 to 34 and grows wider in older age groups. Infidelity for both men and women increases during the Middle Ages. I was thinking of chainmail and whatever. Women in their 60s report the highest rate of infidelity, 16%, but the share goes down sharply among women 70s to 80s. By comparison, the infidelity rate among men in their 70s is the highest, 26%, and it remains high among men ages 80 and older at 24%. Thus, the gender gap in cheating peaks among the oldest age group, ages 80 plus, a difference of 18 percentage points between men and women.
And this is gonna be controversial, I don't care what anybody says. Men can cheat, women can't. I'm gonna explain why right now. I'm going off script here. Everyone here in the room is like, what are you doing, bro? Here's the reality. Men and women are different, guys. Men show their commitment one way, women show their commitment another. Women show their commitment through fidelity, okay? There's a reason why they can only have one child a year. Men, however, we can spread our seed all over the place. We can bust nuts until the day we die, right? So men show their commitment through what? Giving a woman access to his resources, his money, his attention, and his emotional investment. So the way a man shows commitment is completely different from how a woman shows commitment.
Guys, listen to me. Look at me. These channels are bullshit. They really are. There is no such thing as an alpha male. Women are not as complex as you think they are. You should not try to psychologically manipulate them. And not all women are going to cheat on you. I wanted to bring up all these channels briefly to summarize all of the toxic shit that I've heard, and to prove that these channels are going to give more harmful information than it will helpful. But Davie, I hear you asking, you're just being a simp. These people are trying to give helpful information to introverted people about how to talk to women. And I hear what you're saying, you 5-foot cuck. Here's the thing, guys. Bring it in. I'm trying to help you get laid. I do it semi-regularly, and it's pretty cool. It's the flawed philosophy that all women think the same and that there is a code that you need to crack to talk to them. In my opinion, I think it takes honesty, self-awareness, and respect. Be honest and upfront about your intentions. If you want to hook up, then tell her that. And if you want a long-term relationship, tell her that too. If she doesn't feel the same way, then you're going to save yourself a lot of wasted time and miscommunication. Be self-aware about who you are and how you present yourself. Do you come off as abrasive? Are you off-putting to some? Are you in a position in your life to bring another person into it? These are all important questions to ask. And always show someone respect. Women are not a prize. They are not something to obtain. They are people just like you and me. And you should show them the same respect that you would wish them to show you. And respect yourself. In the same vein as not putting yourself on a pedestal, don't put them on a pedestal to you. They are people. You are a person. Talk to them with respect, and if they don't show you that respect, then they are the problem. You should leave. But what do I know? If you really want to have a really nice relationship and you want advice from someone that you can trust, I would ask a girl, honestly. So I went ahead and asked some girls their perspective so that you can get some advice straight from the source. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down 10 questions real quick that I have written down. Some of them that will pop up as I go. But I basically just want to, get your insight. Hopefully we can give some good advice to people out there who genuinely need it. Because these love gurus have been kind of presenting not so honest information. And so maybe by the end of this video, anyone watching this can get real insight to what exactly they should do when it comes to dating, and maybe not look to YouTube gurus for those answers. So if you could start by introducing yourself, your name, what is it exactly that you do?
So I am Myah. My channel is Celestial Turtle, and I just do commentary YouTube videos.
My name is Rebecca Morales. Do you need my middle name too?
Just your social.
Okay. That's for.
My name is Myah.
My first question to you is, would you say that you're attracted to confident people?
Yeah, I definitely think that I do find myself. It depends.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're overly confident about like the wrong things. So like if you're going around like saying like, oh, I'm the shit, like, and like look at me kind of person. I don't.
Right.
Like it's just too much attention that you're trying to attract to yourself, and like that's not really. It's not attractive.
Yeah, I definitely would say I'm attracted to confidence, just somebody who knows themselves, knows what they're about, knows what they would want in a relationship. And instead of being super confident in your looks or something like that, I think confidence is really attractive in somebody when they're confident in their abilities, like what they can do, their accomplishments, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like an end-all be-all if you're not a confident person, but it's actually really nice to see somebody who, because me as a confident, or I come off as very confident to other people, I'm not, but I have kind of like embodied this like confidence that I give off, and it would be really nice to like have somebody who like kind of knows, and I guess that kind of comes with maturity as well. So it would be nice to have somebody who is, or to like date somebody who is confident as well, because you kind of know that there would be as secure as me, if that makes sense, and that just is comforting. But it's not like you're not confident, I'm not going to date you, like type of thing, you know what I mean?
So if someone were to approach you, or whether it's shooting their shot by in person or through the DMs, how would you want them to go about that?
Just slap it on the table.
I think just being really straightforward and being really open and honest with what you want right away is really important to me, because if you're coming in trying to talk to me and you're kind of beating around the bush, or I can tell that you're just like on the surface and not saying something, or like trying to say something while saying something else at the same time, like trying to, you know, not just coming out and saying what you want right away, or coming out and saying it. Like, if you're gonna come talk to me, just say what you want instead of beating around the bush, or like skirting around what you actually are there to talk to me for. Like, if you're there to just have a friendly conversation, that's fine. But if I can tell that you're like trying to flirt with me or trying to, you know, hit me up or whatever, and you're, you know, kind of skirting around it, like talking around it, that's gonna be a big turnoff for me. I probably just won't be interested at all.
What would you say is your least favorite trait in a person, both either physical or emotional?
Like we were talking about earlier, I think like being really egotistical or really overconfident is a big turnoff for me. I really like somebody who's really humble about themselves and who, you know, they know that they have good attributes, but they're not relying on those for their personality or anything.
Would you say that there's such a thing as an alpha male?
The alpha women. No. Just kidding.
Beta women?
The beta women, no. There's not.
No.
If you think you're an alpha male, I think
You're pretty beta.
yeah, like just no.
When shooting their shot, we already talked about, you know, what's the best thing they can do. But what do you think is the absolute worst thing they can do when approaching you or like DMing you?
Let me pull up Tinder.
Dick pics. That's the worst thing. Sending just if you open a conversation with just a dick pic, right? Nah, that is the most unattractive shit that anyone could ever do.
I got a message. I like your glasses. You're like a cute little nerd who can't see. I like that. You should add me on Fortnite. Puts his Fortnite in. I need more friends. Hopefully you're not lame.
Do you think men or women cheat more, or do you think it's equal or situational?
I think it's situational. I don't think, like, I've met people who are just, yeah. It doesn't matter if you're a he, a she, or a they, them. I've just met people that are just not good people in general.
So the very last question, do you have any advice for anyone who has trouble with dating?
I think definitely don't listen to the love gurus, because a lot of the advice they have is, again, just like skirting around the actual saying something but meaning something else to try and get some sort of result from that from another person, when you could just be upfront with them. I think it wastes a lot less time when you're just straightforward with somebody and when you're telling them your intentions, and just being like empathetic and kind to people. Don't immediately assume that anybody, because you don't really, like, sounds a little harsh, but the reality is you don't deserve anybody's time. You don't have the right to anybody else's time. So if they are going to be giving that to you, like, be humble and, you know, realize how important it is that somebody is taking the time out of their day to, you know, reciprocate your like you trying to get at them.
I mean, be open to like the possibilities. So like, you know, there's dating apps which of course like don't always work for everyone, but if that's not your thing, like maybe like social media like Instagram or Twitter, just like kind of see what's out there. And if you find someone that you like, don't be afraid to try to start a conversation with that person. So it literally takes like 5 seconds to like DM someone, like just say hi, introduce yourself if you don't know them. I mean, it's worked for me. So I mean, you just have to be brave enough to do it, to start that journey, you know?
I know people are different, and sometimes people are a little bit like more shy and like socially like awkward and stuff. And me, I'm really the type of person who's like fears rejection. But I'd say if you really like somebody and you really want to pursue that person, that you should try to pursue it. And if, you know, if it doesn't, like, you know, nothing happens, they don't feel the same way about you, like, you got to move on. And, you know, if they're your real homie, your real friend, or you guys become like really like close or whatever the situation is, I think if they're mature enough, they'll, you know, you guys could mutually agree that like you can move on from it.
Alright, so as you can see, these channels are dumb. Now again, not all women can be generalized in the same way. What is attractive to some may not be attractive to another. But maybe after watching this, with the information that I've given you, you have a better understanding of how you come across to girls, or even you just kind of feel better about not being so afraid. It's natural. Everyone gets nervous, but you need to understand that it's okay. Just respect people. With that being said, I would like to thank you all for watching. A huge thank you to Myah and Becca from Detention, our group channel. You can catch our gaming content and our podcast in the description below, and check out Myah's channel and Becca's Twitter. And a very special thank you to Celestial Turtle. She agreed to be in this video for some reason, and I would recommend that you go subscribe to her. And I would also recommend her video about a Twitch streamer that made fun of a cancer patient because God gave up on us. Again, thanks so much for watching. My Twitch will be down below. You should follow. I speedrun Mario and I play Apex. My other videos are down below too. You should check out my Goofy movie video. I heard the streets loved it. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Go out, be safe, and it's okay. I'll help you get through this. Bye.